Could I interest you in everything all of the time? A little bit of everything all of the time. I don't want you to go into the gym and feel like that. When you first walk into the gym, the first thing you're going to notice is that there's just so much of everything. I mean, assuming this is a half-decent gym that offers, almost everything. Is my lens dirty? Are there any dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour? Hello? I think my lens looks all right. Okay. Yeah, you're going to go into the gym, and if it's a half-decent gym, it's going to have lots of stuff in it. You're going to see treadmills. You're going to see free weights. That's going to include dumbbells and barbells, and you're going to see a bunch of stuff that you don't know what it does. I'm assuming that you're not real comfortable with the gym. I want to make you. My goal for this whole video series is to help you build confidence in the gym. I want you to, after listening to me rant and ramble about fitness stuff, I want you to be able to walk into the gym and with all the confidence of Arnold Schwarzenegger, just know exactly what to do. As far as exercises go, as far as what to use, as far as whether or not what you're doing is even working, signs that it's working. Ultimately, that's what I want for you. And if by the end of this video series, you still don't feel all that confident in going to the gym, then I guess I failed at my job. It wouldn't be the first time. But for now, for this particular lesson, I just want to go over the different types of exercises that you could do at the gym. And I want you to know whether you should use free weights or machines. What counts as a free weight? What is a machine? What about cables? Where do cables belong? And I'm going to give you an actual workout to do based on a 3-day workout pattern. You don't have to do 3 days. You could do just 2 days. Maybe 4 days. That might be a little much for most people, assuming these are, these workouts are 45 minutes long-ish. But I'm going to give you an actual workout to do that's going to cover most of your bases. So let's just start with free weights versus machines. What are free weights and what are machines? Because that's the first thing you're going to notice. You're going to see all the free weights and you're going to see all the machines. What do I even mean by that? What are the quote-unquote free weights? What are the quote-unquote machines? Well, the free weights are your dumbbells and your barbells. These things, they move. They're not hooked down to something. You can move them in any direction you want. You can pick them up and carry them across the room. All right, these are your free weights. And then you've got your machines. These are the devices that you can only pick up and move across the room if you're one of these 500-pound strongmen that are lifting tree trunks. The machines are, they're either usually really big and really heavy, or they're nailed down to the ground so they don't move. And here's the advantage of a machine. A machine is the most stable thing that you can use. Free weights have degrees of stability as well, and I'll get into that. But here's why many people will gravitate towards the machines. They're a little bit more intuitive because usually you can tell just by looking at it what it's supposed to do, and they'll have a little diagram for you on the machine that tells you what it does. So you'll see, let's see, you come to a machine and it says leg extension. This machine is a leg extension machine, and then you look at the little human on the picture, and you see the part of the human that's colored in bright yellow. That's the muscle that's going to be getting worked. In this case, it's going to say that your quadriceps are what's going to be getting worked on this leg extension machine. And yeah, that makes it really, really easy. So people will flock to the machines. They're safe. Generally speaking, they're a lot safer than free weights. And I would say that that should be machines should be at the bottom of your list of things to do. Yes, they're easier. Yes, they're more stable. Yes, they're safer. But here's one of the reasons that we exercise. We don't just exercise to build muscle, although we do. We don't just exercise to look better, although that's important for a lot of people, and that's fine. But we exercise in order to learn how to properly move our bodies, how to get our bodies to move in harmony with itself. Now, when you're using a machine, if all you ever use are machines, that's kind of like riding a bike and never taking the training wheels off. I mean, you can still ride the bike. You're going to get from point A to point B with the bike, but you never learn how to ride the bike. You never learn the skill of riding the bike. I want you to learn the skill of exercise, the skill of movement, not just building muscle, not just the superficial muscles that make you look a little bit better. I want you to actually learn how to move and use this wonderful gift of a body that you have been granted, that I have been granted. Bodies are really something. It's either a vessel that can take you from here to there, or it's a prison that keeps you confined. I think I said that in one of my other videos. I think it's a pretty good line, so I'll probably keep saying it. So, you don't have to reject the machines, but veer more towards the free weights. Learn how to use the free weights, the dumbbells and the barbells. But even if you are using machines, even if you are using free weights, that still leaves thousands and thousands of exercises and different movements that you could potentially do, with the free weights. In the words of Jordan Peterson, that's too many. You're not listing priorities. That's a wish list. You're not going to get that all done. That's too many. So, my motto, my battle cry for this video is going to be KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Or, if you're easily offended, keep it simple, sexy. That's right, you're sexy. So you've got your dumbbells, barbells, and then you've got your cables. I haven't said anything about cables yet. Cables are kind of a hybrid between free weights and machines. If you're thinking about it technically, a cable is the most machine-y of all the machines. It not only is it large and bolted to the ground usually, but it's also got all kinds of levies and pulleys on the inside of it to adjust the weights, and it's a machine. The cables are, but I put them in the free weight category, and here's why. Because although they are technically a machine, they act as free weights when you're using them for resistance training. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, and I understand that's a big if, but if you're enjoying it, please leave a like and a comment. If you're not enjoying the video, still leave a comment. The more sarcastic, the better. If you feel like you need a little more personalized coaching, DM me on Instagram at American_Fitnocrat. If you don't have Instagram, send a raven. So you have different degrees of stability within the free weights. Again, machines are by far the most stable, and they have their place, and I'll get into that. But dumbbells, there's levels of stability within the free weight community. And I'll break it down like this. Barbells, probably the most stable. With a barbell, you have both hands holding onto something, and you have both hands, both sides of your body pushing on one weight. Or you have it resting on your back, or you're picking it up off the ground like a deadlift. Barbells are very stable, and they're really great for developing overall strength. That's why power lifters, that's pretty much all they care about is strength. How much can they lift? What's the heaviest thing that they can lift one time? That's all power lifters care about. At least the serious ones. Well, that's why they tend to they tend to use mostly barbells. The power lifters do. And the 3 big lifts are all barbell lifts: barbell bench press, the barbell bench press, the barbell back squat, and the barbell deadlift. Sometimes people will throw in a 4th, the barbell overhead press. These are all powerlifting moves, and they are all used to increase your overall strength. And there's a lot of value in that. And it's the most stable. But here's the problem. Here's the downside to developing overall strength with a barbell. You're going to develop imbalances in your body. If that's all you do, if all you do is barbell, you're going to develop some imbalances. Because while both sides of your body are pushing on one object, one side of your body is almost always stronger than the other side. Just a little bit, not a lot. Unless you're Quasimodo, then one side is like way stronger. That's not what we want. I don't want you to look like Quasimodo. Very unattractive. I want you to be symmetrical. But if you're pushing on one object all the time, the stronger side of your body is going to take over for the weaker side. So you're going to increase that imbalance. And it's not just going to be that you look like a horrific deformed mutant. It's going to be that you're going to start getting aches and pains and muscles tugging on other muscles because they're too strong. They're always taking over for the weaker side. I don't want that. And that's where dumbbells and cables come into play. Dumbbells are less stable than barbells, but because both sides of your body are moving independent of each other, think like a dumbbell bench press. You know, you're on a bench and you're pressing up with dumbbells in each hand. And each side is moving independent of the other side. That means if you have one side that's stronger than the other side, it can't help the weaker side. The weaker side's on its own. And you'll notice real quick which side is the weaker side. If you spent most of your time on barbells and suddenly you switch to dumbbells, you're gonna go, wow, my left side sucks compared to my right side. That's good. That's good that you notice that. That's why we do that. So, dumbbells, less stable than a barbell, not as great for developing overall strength, but great for symmetry. Cables are the least stable. Even though they're a machine, they're a lot less stable than barbells or dumbbells. And you'll know what I mean when you actually get on a cable machine and start doing cable exercises. You have the cable, let's say you're doing some kind of a cable chest press. Those cables are pulling you back towards a certain point, and it becomes a challenge to control them. And if you're not controlling them very well, you're likely to injure yourself. So the cables are the least stable. I generally go lighter on my cables. I don't go for, maximal strength when I'm doing cable exercises. Powerlifters don't really spend a lot of time on cables unless they're trying to address imbalances. But if you're trying to develop overall strength, cables aren't the thing to do that. If you're trying to be as symmetrical and, attract a mate, because symmetry is very important to, just being an attractive person. Again, Quasimodo. Or Sloth from the Goonies. Have you ever stopped and thought why Sloth is such a horrific monster? It's because his face is so asymmetrical. Hey, you guys. I don't want you to be a hey, you guys. I want you to be Brad Pitt. I want you to have very nice facial symmetry and bodily symmetry. So you'd use cables for that. So four different types of exercises that I've just introduced to you. Barbell exercises, dumbbell exercises, cables, and machines. Well, which one of these? Okay, we've broken it down into 4 different categories. Well, which exercises do I do on these barbells, dumbbells, cables, and machines? Which exercises do I do? The human body has literally hundreds of muscles in it. That's not even including the face. Let's just forget about the face. Other than the face, there are hundreds of muscles in the human body that allow you to move. And that's too many. Again, Jordan Peterson, that's too many. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to simplify it. KISS, keep it simple, sexy. Let's reduce it down to just 4. Not 4 muscles, but 4 muscle groups. You've got your legs. You've got your core. That's that's your abs and your back muscles. That's your core. Your lower back muscles, anyways. The things that are keeping your spine erect. Sorry, it's a funny word. Anyway, keeping your spine erect and stable. Then you've got your chest and your back muscles. A quick note on chest and back muscles. If you're pushing on something, you're using your chest muscles. If you're pulling, that's your back muscles. Another word for pulling is rowing. So if you ever see an exercise that says a row, that's gonna mean you're pulling. Think like rowing a boat. You're rowing a boat. If I ever say something that seems kind of obvious and it sounds like I'm talking to you like you're dumb, maybe you are dumb. I don't know for sure. When I point something out, it's because it's something that I learned while I was studying exercise and training. These are all things that I had to catch on to. So if you feel dumb when I'm explaining really basic things, just know that we're basically, I guess I'm dumb too. So back exercises. Anytime you're pulling or rowing something, that's a back exercise. We have our 4 categories. Here's what a 3-day workout program might look like, and you're hitting all 4 of these exercises, or all 4 of these body parts with different exercises. Day 1 might look something like this: barbell back squat. Okay, there's your legs for that day. Dumbbell bench press. There's your chest. We're pushing something, right? So that's your chest. Let's see, a lat pull down. That's your back. That's a back exercise. And then we'll finish with some sit-ups. Then there's your core. Awesome. Now, on day 2, let's do walking lunges. There's your legs for the day. And then let's do a barbell bench press. Okay, we got our barbell bench press in. There's our chest exercise. Ooh, let's do a seated row, a seated cable row, actually. My gym has a seated cable row machine. It's very popular. It's hard to get on. You got to grab it once it's open. There's your back exercise. And then let's do some leg lifts for your core. Sweet. Day 3, let's do a leg press. A machine leg press. I'm going to throw a machine in there, and I'll tell you why when I'm done with listing off the exercises. Let's throw in a machine leg press. There's your legs. Some push-ups. Get a little bit of body weight exercises in there. And then let's get a single arm cable row. Yeah, that'll be good. Single arm cable row, and then a plank, just so we can get good at holding that plank position. It'll make you better at push-ups too. So there's our workout for the week. Fairly basic, 4 movements per workout. You might be wondering, well, it's only 4 movements, 4 exercises. Aren't I going to be done in like 10 minutes? Not if you're taking proper rest time. We'll get into that in another video. See, it really doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a lot, depending on your level. You really don't have to do a ton. In fact, it's really easy to do too much. Keep it simple. Just do 4 exercises per workout. Really basic. I know there's some exercise scientists. If there's any exercise scientists watching this right now, you're cursing my name because I'm oversimplifying it. Well, leave the complexities to the trainers and the exercise scientists. For everybody else, you just stick to the basics. Stick to the basics. Let's see. I think that's all I've got for today. You have a workout. You know what to do. Oh, by the way, one more note. You may have noticed that I threw in a mixture of barbell, dumbbell work, and even a couple of machines. A decent workout program, as I know I went through like which ones are good for what, but the fact of the matter is that you do have exercise modes that are better for some things while they're not as good for other things. You know, barbell stuff is good for overall strength, dumbbell stuff is good for symmetry, stuff like that. Machines are great for stability. A decent workout program should include all of it. All right, always try and throw a little bit of it, unless you have very specific goals. I forgot to mention how important getting your goals straight is. I've been approaching this from the perspective that your goal is overall health and fitness. But throw in a little bit of everything, leaning more towards free weights. So like 80% of your workout is free weights, and then you throw in a machine here and there where you need it. There are specific instances where you might need a machine. Let's say you have a bad back. You have a really bad back, and barbell back squats hurt it even more. Even if you're wearing the belt, I've got a lot to say on the belt. But even if you're wearing the belt, it still hurts your back, and you're trying to protect your back, and it just keeps hurting. But you still want to work your legs, but you can't hold enough weight in your hands to really challenge your legs. So what do? You use a leg press machine. Stabilizes your back, allows you to add enough weight to put the proper amount of stimulus on your legs to grow muscle. So that's a situation where you might need to use a machine. Nothing wrong with machines, but lean more towards free weights. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. Thank you for listening. Hey, tell me, have you ever heard someone say something like, "Oh, fitness isn't everything"? Don't listen to that communist gobbledygook. Take pride in your body, take pride in your fitness, and let me help you along the way. Follow me at American_Fitnocrat on Instagram. And if you'd like some personalized coaching, DM me.